Another topic might be you guys aware of the Maryland coach that got suspended for cruelty?
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Some bullying stuff and pretty harsh treatment of players. He just got reinstated. So that could lead to an interesting conversation.
How long has he been doing this? Or is it like a 1 year coach?
Didn't he first get suspended because one of the players died?
Yeah.
What?
Because he didn't let them get a drink or anything. Yeah, he didn't let him get a
Oh my
drink. He
God.
whipped him out too hard and he died on a treadmill
Wow.
or something.
That's how you know you're a bad coach.
What? Oh wow. Like Mr. Warden, I like the whistle.
I mean, at least he put in the effort.
Oh, loud.
Oh boy.
I like it. He's
Nice.
ready.
We're ready. Here we go. Go ahead, Brock. Start us off.
Are we on right now?
We've been on.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hello.
I'm Brock Elsesser. Hello, and welcome back to GV Talk Sports. And
I'm Riley.
I'm Kennedy. Chelsea.
Jonathan.
Mr. Dutt.
And Mr. Horton. Where are we going today? Where are we starting off with?
Okay, well, I think we have to give kudos to our lone Red Sox fan over there.
Yeah.
Tell us how you feeling after the weekend's events.
I feel really good.
Yeah?
John, how do you feel?
I don't want to talk about it.
John begged me not to
Decline to
bring that up.
answer.
I love the day after.
Pass.
You wore your little
Respectfully.
Red Sox hat and
We should have
everything.
probably sweeped them, but I don't care. We won 4-1 anyway, so.
You did call the sweep.
He did call a
We
sweep.
should have had a chance to in that long game that went to the 18th, but Ian Kinsler kind of ruined the game for us on 3 different occasions. Then he didn't start the next 2 games, which, man, I couldn't even look at him. I was so mad.
That's
You
intense.
saw
Well,
him.
that is
You saw me,
pretty
you were like,
intense.
oh, Ian.
Do you ever feel like what you thought was going to be super exciting doesn't turn out to be as exciting as you thought? Like, for instance, you weren't probably too cognitively aware of what was going on in 2004. When,
No, I was like 1.
Right, when they broke the streak, and that was like a big deal.
Yeah,
that
was a
break
big
the
deal.
streak, or if you were a Chicago Cubs fan, when they finally broke their streak. I was listening to one guy who said that it actually wasn't as much fun to be a Red Sox fan after 2004. Because when you were a Red Sox fan in 2004 or 2003, you were a Red Sox fan.
Well, do you think it was fun being a Yankees fan?
Well, it's always fun being a Yankees fan
So,
for me.
yeah.
But the whole concept of the underdog, the Red Sox and the Cubs being huge underdogs, then they finally win one, and I don't know. I think it's always fun to be a fan. I love it when they win a championship. But I
Yeah.
just wondered what you thought of that.
The only thing I could really compare it to is when they won at Fenway in 2013, because that was the first time they won in Fenway in 95 years. So, it was cool, but they won before. But no, I think I love watching good baseball like that, and when a team can do what they did, it's crazy. The only other team that's done that is the Yankees, that has won that many games and playoffs and
Right.
all season together.
And you're a fan, but why isn't baseball more popular? How many people at this table actually can sit down and watch an
It's
entire baseball
so
game?
Slow.
I don't think I think the reason is because in other sports you have like the Tom Brady's and the LeBron James. Baseball, there's not really that one definitive player on a team.
Mike
that's
Trout,
you could say that, but he's not the only one.
Bryce Harper,
Yeah, but it's not
One more,
just
come on, one more. One
Jose Altuve.
yeah, and Alex Bregman and George Springer and everyone else on their team.
Right. We could go down through the whole thing, but yet.
Kennedy, it is slow, right? It is.
Bryce Harper against the entire Yankees, he's not just gonna win the game.
No.
Baseball's so much different.
He's not,
You know,
because he's
and
from the
I
National
get
League.
it. In basketball, one player probably won't, but one player can really, really help.
Is it? I think it takes a special person to be a baseball player or a softball player.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm a track coach, but the idea that you fail, you're really good if you fail 7 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And is that kind of counterintuitive to what we try to pretend that we are in the United States? We're a group of winners. We always want to. I don't know. What do you think, Chelsea? You play softball.
I play softball. Yeah, I do.
So that
I
phone
think-
call was for Rizzo too, by the way. I'm his personal answering service.
Excellent. Cool.
I think
Sorry.
softball takes a different type of sports mentality, I guess. You have to think of the game differently than like a soccer game or a basketball game. Like while you're in it, you have to think like a few plays ahead and stuff when you do stuff. So it makes, I don't know, it's different.
Also, I was told softball is a sport of failure. You're expected to fail in that sport. You know, you're expected to strike out. You're expected to swing and miss or pot fly it. So that's like you have to realize you are going to fail and you have to get over that, which it's still hard for me to do.
Okay, so so the ratings of a 2-5 Buffalo Bills team against New England were better than Game 5 of the World Series.
It's football.
Well, and I also just think that's how the World Series went this year. No one really cared about it this year.
You know why nobody cared? Because it was the Red Sox.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Knew that was
Come
coming.
on, why do we gotta insult people? All right, I think it was less thrilling this year because I think everybody understood the Red Sox were the best team in it.
Yeah.
And I think the American League Championship Series was probably more interesting
It was.
than the World Series.
It's a lot more fun to watch when you get 2 wild card teams in because you don't know who's gonna win. And was it the Cubs and Indians, both wild card teams, or was it the year before? I remember a couple years ago it was 2 wild card teams. In
I can't remember. It
World
was
Series,
somewhere
and that was
around there.
really exciting.
Well,
to watch.
baseball used to be America's sport. I mean, nobody watched football.
Right. Clearly, America's sport is football now. Clearly,
I think so.
that's the
you're
sport
probably
that
right.
everybody watches.
Yeah.
Everybody's got at least an opinion. Maybe not Brock, but everybody else has an opinion about football as to who they like and who they don't, and what they think of Tom Brady or whatever. But baseball's just different.
It is.
I love going to baseball games. I love going to the games. It's hard for me to watch them on TV a little bit, but being at the ballpark, the smells, the sounds, the
Well,
people,
yeah,
it's just amazing.
You're so involved in everything.
What's hard for me about baseball is there is no clock. I like having a clock. I like to know that this inning is going to last 5 minutes or whatever that clock is, and when it's over, it's over. We move on.
So the
kinda
18-inning
opposite
game, you
about
didn't
that.
stay up.
No, I did not.
I'm kind of the opposite with that. I kind of like how you never know what's going to happen. I mean, it could go 18 innings and end at 3:30, or it could end at 10 o'clock, and each inning could be a blowout.
Right. What was it that I read that game, that 18-inning game, was longer than the entire 1947 World Series?
Yeah, it was over 7 hours.
Yeah.
That one.
The
game.
whole World Series that the Yankees swept in 47 was less than.
That's crazy.
The same.
Shameless Yankees plug right there.
Well, it was a statistic.
That's it. It was a stat. Do we have any trivia for today? Anybody got any trivia they want to?
Well, I have one, but I don't think Bills fans are gonna like it, so I don't know if I should say it or not.
Go ahead.
You
Let's
should
throw it out there.
probably
We'll
say
answer them at the end. I've got one section.
You're not a fan if you're only a fan when they win. So.
All right, well, who is the number 3 winningest quarterback in Buffalo?
Ouch.
The number
In-
3 winningest score. Boy, that's
Actually, you're talking about at the actual stadium.
At Buffalo.
I know this one, and we'll wait to get
We'll wait
the
till-
answer to that. That's very funny.
It is very
It's
funny.
making me laugh
Well,
just thinking
Do
about
we
that.
want to move
I'll
into
say
the-
right now,
do-
only the first 2 that I saw on the list actually played for Buffalo.
Well, why you got to give it away?
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Played for
Oh,
Buffalo.
right.
Okay.
Do we want to
Give me a
move
big
into
clue.
Buffalo Bills into football before
Yeah.
we jump
Well,
head
we
first
could-
into the NBA?
They actually played pretty well on Monday. I thought their
Yeah.
defense was really good.
Yeah, Milano was doing really good. that
Yeah.
game.
But it does go us back to that statement we made the other day about does defense win in the NFL anymore?
No.
No.
Not unless you hold them. They didn't really hold them.
Well, defense, if they would have held them to 5 points
But,
instead of 25, right?
I mean, the only chance the Bills really had was if they didn't let them score at all, like a shutout. I think that's the only chance they had.
Why are the Bills so bad defensively? Or offensively, sorry. Defensively,
Oh.
they're good. Why are they so bad
There's
offensively?
no offensive line and there's no quarterback.
I literally think they would do better if they got rid of every single person on offense and just started new. They would honestly do better if they did that.
I don't know why they didn't
Even the
trade
even the
LaShawn McCoy
coaching,
and get some
just
value.
everything.
I really don't.
I was thinking that same thing too, John. Why didn't they trade LaShawn?
I don't know.
I think they
It, just,
should
it
have.
doesn't make sense.
I think they should have traded him back to the Eagles and went for Le'Veon Bell in the offseason.
Le'Veon Bell's not going to go to Buffalo.
Who? Oh, sorry about that.
Why wouldn't he go to Buffalo?
Why would he want to go to Buffalo?
Why wouldn't he?
Why would he? He wants to be able to
Why would he
look
wanna
good.
play
He doesn't want.
Pittsburgh?
Well,
It's-
there's a good
what's-
offensive line there. He wants to play someplace where he's going to be able to get some rushing yards, and that's
But he-
not
but
going
he
to
cl-
happen in Buffalo.
But it's clearly not about winning.
No, it's not. About
For him,
winning
it's
at
about
all.
money.
Yeah.
So if the Bills come up with the most money,
But he
he's
wants
gonna
to
show
look
up.
good too.
And the Bills have
oh,
some
does he
of the
really?
most money for
Does he really
running
care
backs.
about looking good?
Yeah.
Because if he cared about looking good, he would be in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform right now. If he cared about because he could get 110 yards a game playing for Pittsburgh right now, he would look great, and he's still going to get paid at the end of the year. To me, it is about money. It is about nothing more than money for that kid.
I think it's the opposite. I think he doesn't want a chance getting hurt, and he just is going to leave his past performances where they are, so he can come back. He'll probably show up like week 16, play one game, and if he doesn't play well, he's going to say, "Well, I didn't practice at all this year," and some team will go sign him on his past performances.
Girls, we didn't get your Buffalo Bills opinion. Did you guys watch the game this weekend?
No, I was working.
I watched the end, kind of. I watched like the fourth quarter. I remember I was talking to my mom. I was sitting. I was like, and the score was still what was it, like 12-6 or whatever. And I'm like, this isn't like so bad. Literally, as I said that, is when they intercepted the ball and had the touchdown. I was like, that's pretty bad. Like, it's bad now.
So you jinxed them.
Yeah, it was me. It was
A
all
lot
my
of local
fault.
people went. I was looking on Facebook. A lot of local people went to the game.
Yeah,
up there Monday night.
I knew a lot of people that were there.
Well, and
And had fun.
well, the Bills look good. I mean, the Bills' presentation. The stadium looked amazing
Yeah.
on television, and
What was it with the red lights underneath the? Is that the heated part of
Yeah,
the?
yeah, that was the
Jim
club
Kelly
seats.
club
Yeah.
seats.
Right.
Because everybody looked red.
yeah, it was. They colored it red just to kind of give it a different look.
Looked nice.
It looked really cool. Even the announcements, the national announcers were like, "This is a great place to play a football game. They
Yeah.
should do more Monday night games here." So
It did. Look
the
good.
Bills would actually have to win a few games though. I
Yeah.
think before
Yeah, they can't really
decide to do
be
that.
doing primetime games with a team that's going to get beat by at least 16 points
I
every
think-
time.
And I think we talked that the Bills would probably win 3 games this year. Isn't that what 3 to 4? Isn't that what we said? We're on
I-
pace for that.
I thought they were going to win 0. I'm not going to lie.
Well, then you were wrong. They've already won 2.
Yeah.
Woo.
But I don't know.
Hey, I want to go back to something Kenny was saying though too. If I'm flipping through ESPN on a weekend, like on a Saturday before golf is on, I'll stop on a college women's college softball game. I think they're
love
interesting.
softball.
They're fast,
I
it's quick.
love
I'll stop
it.
on one. Anybody
I-
else?
I have watched some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's something intriguing. I don't know what. I don't know what is it that draws you to that game.
I want to be like that.
yeah.
I think the little girl dream where like
Yeah. You
I
want
wanna
to
be that.
For Oklahoma, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Oklahoma the team to beat still?
Oklahoma.
For me, they kind
probably
of are.
maybe Florida. Florida.
Florida State.
UCLA.
Yeah, they're so good. They're always good.
UCLA's baseball team is pretty good.
So what about the sport though? What about the sport of softball or baseball? I don't play, so I don't know. Draws you to that sport?
It just does.
Like I mean, I
It's an
obviously
individual team sport, right?
Kind of.
kind of, but I mean, let's throw it out there, make it even a little bit more difficult. If you had to choose between, obviously for some of you, choosing between baseball, softball, and track is a pretty easy choice. But for others, what if soccer was in the spring? Girls soccer was in the spring when I was in school. What if soccer was in the spring? Softball versus soccer, baseball
Softball.
versus soccer.
Softball.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it about softball that draws you?
It just.
No.
I mean,
You don't really have
I
to
just
be
get
good at one
excited.
thing.
yeah.
You
It
can
just.
be good at something. I mean, you may not be the best hitter, but you could be a good fielder and still be a decent player. There's totally so many different aspects of the game.
I think
which-
in
yeah.
practice, like when you crank the ball, just one time, you're like, yeah, this is a good practice. That's what I love.
I honestly have no idea why. I just do. It's
Insert
so much
crack
more
of the bat.
fun. Yeah.
And I feel like, you know how softball is just as slow as baseball, if not slower. But it just, you feel, especially from where I play, there's always something happening. Always.
Right.
And it just,
Right, but if I'm a right fielder,
Center
Yeah.
field.
And Emily Deshoe is the pitcher.
Yeah. But sometimes you like that. Sometimes you enjoy when Emily's on and nothing's happening. Yeah, that's
You
good
can
sometimes.
Sit down,
You
pick
kick a
daisies.
lot of dandelions out there.
You can just
The smells, the aromas, the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can appreciate what like pitchers like her do though.
Yeah.
If you if you watch the game and you see the stuff she does, it's crazy. Or like a good pitcher that we have like Carson Warner, it's just even if you're out in right field, you're still into it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like wow, they're they're
Yeah.
good.
Shout out to Carson. He was a good pitcher, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was.
Carson was
Very
good.
Yeah. I just, do you ever get bored?
Bored? No. Frustrated? Yes.
Well, but you're speaking from the standpoint of a catcher?
Yes.
Or standpoint
well-
of a left fielder who hasn't seen the ball in 21 batters?
I think you might get bored there. Maybe. For me, I don't have time to be bored.
Right, sure. You're playing catch.
I will
But,
tell you as a center fielder
Okay.
that I did not get bored because I did the same thing before every pitch.
Me too.
So I was in a routine.
Yeah.
One step, down, look, glove, 2 steps. Say I did the same thing before every pitch. Because you have to be ready for every single pitch, right?
That's
Yeah.
the thing. You never know what's
You
going to
never
happen.
know. I mean, because you may only have the ball hit to you once.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you don't catch it, it's like, oh, okay.
Right. That's just all curiosity to me.
I think it's cool how one person in like a baseball or a softball game can like either win or lose the game. Like you can hit it well and then you win the game. You can strike out and lose the game. You can catch a ball, drop a ball. Like
It's kind of just a big adrenaline rush.
yeah,
Is that
Softball.
unique to baseball, softball, or does that kind of go across different
I
sports?
feel like it's more. I don't know.
More pronounced?
Soccer. I mean, soccer. There's a pedal D kick. you know,
Right.
Tie. There's like 20 seconds left.
But does it
that's
happen
rare
more often in
situations.
baseball, softball?
I think it happens more often in baseball and softball.
Right. I mean, basketball.
We're a single play. Like,
Right. You're on the line at the end of the game. You're on the free throw line.
Yeah.
You're down 1-2 shots.
Got a sign.
Hey, do we need? Sorry about that. It's a shameless plug for the future Hall of Famer. So, do we need to move on to? I know Brock is just wanting to get into basketball, but we can go to NBA. I think we should talk college football just a little bit, right? Aren't you guys college football fans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a topic if we want to. What do you
You're
think?
cutting Brock right out of the NBA right now? Wow, just like that.
Well, I don't know. Did anybody see the rankings last night? The first college football playoff rankings?
I did see those.
Yeah, I saw some of that too.
Yeah. Syracuse, what were they ranked? I
19th.
forgot. 19th in the college football playoff ranking. That's crazy.
2 years ago, they were horrendous.
Yeah, they were so bad. And then last year they got a little better, and this year they're definitely gonna get a bowl, maybe even a New Year's
Maybe
bowl
a
if they
decent
keep
bowl.
going.
Yeah.
so,
But their coach will probably leave
yeah, probably
with
go to a
the
bigger
success
college.
he's had in those 2 years at Syracuse. What do you think about LSU in front of an undefeated Notre Dame? Let's just throw that out there. What do you think? LSU
the
in front of
SEC.
an undefeated
Yeah,
Notre
where did
Dame?
that come from?
Well, it's interesting. Can you...
No love for Notre Dame.
No, and it's interesting looking at those top 5. Can you picture a scenario? Clemson's undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Alabama's undefeated.
Mhm.
Alabama's kind of like the Boston Red Sox of college football. I mean, they're that good. So, what happens if LSU beats Alabama this weekend? I don't think it's going to happen, but what happens if LSU beats Alabama this weekend? Now they both have one loss. Does Alabama stay in the top 4?
Yeah. They
Yeah.
have to because
Yeah.
I think if LSU loses to Alabama, I think they both stay in the top 4 because they're both in the top 4 already.
Okay, so you're going to keep a 2-loss team in the top 4.
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't know. Has that happened before?
I think it has. Yeah. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure it has.
I
at
may
least
have to
once.
get the laptop out.
So you could have a team at the end of the year in the final top 5 with 3 losses because they could lose in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Interesting. What do you think of that college football playoff?
They need more teams.
UCF
Yeah,
needs
I think-
justice.
UCF is number 12, right?
Something like that.
I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, I mean, it's a start, 4 teams.
Right.
But somebody said more teams, right? You said more teams, yeah. Why don't we go like NCAA?
That's too many.
64, is
That's
that too many?
Yeah, I
Well,
think
'cause you-
maybe like 8.
I mean, if you wanted the season to go to March, we could go with 64 of them, because you can only play once a week,
Yeah.
you know, and theoretically, you're supposed to skip over the middle 2 weeks of December, because that's when kids should be taking finals and actually going to class. I'm throwing that out there.
It doesn't matter when you're good at sports.
Well, can we slide to another topic real quick, Johnny? Okay. Scandal, Adidas scandal in NCAA. You know, they just, convicted 3 people of crimes of, paying a kid to go to Louisville. Okay, Adidas was paying the kid and the kid's family $100,000 to go to Louisville. All right, and so there's a corruption trial. How many of you know about it? How many of you care? Right, why? Why does nobody care about this big deal? Like, Rick Pitino lost his job.
We all know it's happening,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it. They're the only college that's gotten caught for
Yeah,
it
it
recently.
definitely happens more
but
than
they
that.
all do it. I mean, you can't say they don't. Every college does it.
Yeah.
It's such a big business. There's no way that it's not crooked for every college.
Yeah, I guarantee it happens way more than it's talked about.
It's just interesting how
Yeah,
how jaded we are.
We kind of accept it.
Right, that we just know that these players are getting paid
Yeah.
to participate. Like Zion Williamson,
Man.
how much money is he getting paid right now just to be at Duke?
A lot.
Yeah, he's definitely getting paid something.
So does the system need to be fixed, or do we just not care?
I mean, why stop it now, right? It's
I
going
don't know. I
on.
don't really
They've let
care.
it go so far. Why change it?
Well, I mean, how do we put this? We always talk about the exceptions, right? You brought up Zion. But let's go to Duke women's softball, right? Nobody on that team might get paid, right? It's always, when you're talking about players getting paid, it's always very few individuals, right? Very
Sure.
few. Not the majority of
No.
athletes that play NCAA sports, right?
Yeah,
Is that a true story?
I think that would be fair.
Yeah.
True story. So it's always the exception. I think we've just said, let's just let these 10, 15 players, whatever, get paid, and everybody else,
Well, have you known anybody who played Division I basketball?
other than Mr. Paul Huffman.
Well, have you ever seen the amount of swag that all of those players get for free?
I haven't, but I'm sure it's impressive.
Constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a friend who went to
Merch? We're
Yeah.
going to have our own merch. we're gonna
merch,
sell, by the
exactly.
way.
Just the amount of stuff that, you win the Big East, and so they give you a watch and all these other, they're just handed out like candy
Oh, no kidding. I
to these
didn't know
kids.
that.
It's just interesting.
They give them shoes through their sponsors, like
yeah, they give
crazy.
him, they
Like,
give him tons of clothing.
it's-
Right.
And then if they happen to win their conference, they get rings or watches or
Sure. And all of that's legal
Yeah.
Sure.
because it comes
But then-
through something else other than just out of the agent's pocket.
But then they can't accept what is the award through ESPN? They can't accept those. If
An
they
ESPY?
win. Yes, they can't. They have an award for best college athlete, and they can't accept it until they leave college.
That's funny.
So what about the NBA, Brock? We just got to get him in.
Rock, what's wrong with the Rockets, man?
The Rockets, man.
I want to be Klay Thompson.
Well, there's a lot of things wrong with the Rockets right now. Like, they've never had really a strong defense, like, other than Chris Paul, really. And I feel like that's just not connecting very well as a team because your defense leads to your offense and your overall performance.
Currently, Houston is
Clint Capella isn't bad either.
14th?
Oh my god.
14th in the West
Really?
out of
Yeah, that's
15.
bad.
And they were your pick to win it all. Oh, well, if Golden State falls apart, right? You thought Houston would,
They're my pick to win it too.
Is Chris Paul still suspended though?
I don't
No,
know.
he's not.
I don't know, but they're 0-4 at home.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Crap.
Yeah. All right. Klay Thompson. Is that a good thing that he scored 52 the other day?
How would it be a bad thing?
Why would it be a
Like-
bad thing? Well, because now every high school kid in America is going to be chucking up threes like it's.
They did that when Steph started it. It's gonna.
Mhm.
I mean, it'll
Yeah.
probably get worse, but Steph kind of revolutionized that.
I mean, well, when Steph Curry shoots threes and when Klay Thompson shoots threes, it's a different scenario because Klay Thompson shoots off the catch and shoot, where Steph Curry will run and pull up from 30 feet just off the dribble.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
That's what ruins
Clay is
it.
really
Yeah.
about fundamentals. You see him shoot, and he's a foot behind the three-point line pretty
Mm-hmm.
much as his maximum. He shoots right where you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see Steph Curry, he's taking three-quarters court shots.
Yeah,
and
Clay,
just,
Clay
like,
can
half
Clay can
court.
still hit from
He
very
can,
far out though,
But
but
he just chooses
Yeah,
not
he
to
just
because it's not a high
yeah.
percentage shot. He's not.
well,
Steph
He'll-
Curry is what ruined that, though.
yeah, but Klay Thompson is definitely a top 3 3-point shooter in the league right now, and
Oh,
has
yeah.
potential to be top 3 of all time
I think he's maybe the number 1 3-point shooter in the league right now.
over Steph Curry.
Over Steph
That's
Curry.
ridiculous.
No.
No.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
wait. Now we're just making statements. Does anybody have any numbers to back any of it up?
Steph Curry has shot 40% from 3 his entire career and shoots totally different shots from Klay Thompson. He shoots from way further and from off the dribble.
We're not talking
Klay
about
Thompson-
long shots. We're talking about three-point
Klay
shots.
Thompson shoots high percentage shots, but all of his are off the catch and shoot off of good offense, which leads to a higher percent shot. Steph Curry can hit those shots at a better percentage than Klay Thompson, but he doesn't take them as much. He can make a shot off the dribble, which Klay Thompson can't. He's
By
he's a
percentage,
much
who's
more-
the best 3-point shooter in the league?
By percentage, last year it was Darren Collison. It's never really one of the top 3-point shooters. It's always somebody who just shoots 2 threes a game maybe, and this happens to get a high 3-point percentage
Rudy Gay.
this year.
Yep. Wow.
Oh, Rudy.
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 No, not that.
That's how you know they're irrelevant if I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
'cause, you know.
Steph Curry's
I mean, Rudy Gay is a very
shooting
good player,
52%.
He's not
Yeah,
bad.
Klay Thompson's way below that because he started
What
really
school
rough.
does he go to?
He's probably not even listed.
Klay Thompson's only shooting 31%.
Okay, and you think he's the best 3-point shooter in the league?
I do. I think he was in
He's
a
not.
slump, and I think he scored. What was it? The most points in a half ever
It was a quarter.
in a quarter, twice.
All right. Well,
Oh my God.
That's the 2-minute warning, folks. You
Thank
love
you.
it.
thank you.
We got to go to final thoughts here when you're done with your thought.
Well, it's interesting that both Steph, when he set the record for 13, and Clay, when he broke the record at 14, neither of them played the fourth quarter in those games.
That's the way that Steve Kerr runs his offense. Is he doesn't want his players getting injured because it's not about individual performance and how many points you can score in a game. It's about what are the outcome of the entire season. Do you win the championship at the end? Do players get injured? That's what Steve Kerr is thinking about. He's not worried about Steph going for 70 or Clay going for 65.
Right. 52 in 3 quarters, though. That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's
That's
insane.
crazy.
Final thoughts?
Okay.
Who wants to start?
If the Rockets don't get out of their slump, they will trade for Jimmy Butler.
The Los Angeles Lakers will be the 5th seed and will be either a 2nd or 3rd round exit in the playoffs.
The Bills will win their next game.
Oh,
The
against
big
the
one.
Bears.
I'm sick about hearing about the NBA. I'm ready for college basketball to start so I can actually say some stuff.
We might actually do a high school preview here next week.
Yeah.
This is a little off in the future, but Klay Thompson leaves the Warriors this offseason and goes and starts his own super team.
Wow.
Like in
Oh,
Europe
mine was
or
No.
He's going to join Jimmer out in China.
Yes. Yeah.
Jimmer Fredette out in
Yeah.
China.
He hit 41 points against the Rockets in the summer league. Or the preseason.
Jimmer can shoot.
you know we haven't mentioned LeBron at all this show.
Oh, we almost got
Don't
them.
bring
He
him up.
brought it up. He
Well,
brought
I
up
said
the Lakers.
I said the Lakers. I didn't
Lakers.
say
You
LeBron.
didn't
Yeah.
say LeBron though.
I think the Sabres are going to finish 9th. So that they'll just be out of the playoffs, but they'll be in the thick of it for a little while. That'll actually be an interesting conversation. They won't be out of it by January.
No, we don't talk about hockey.
The Bills, after Peterman's start this Sunday, will be so desperate that it'll be between Johnny Manziel again and Colin Kaepernick to see who they sign.
What about Terrell Pryor? He's the most talented quarterback on the roster.
Kaepernick's out
They
there.
did sign
Quarterback.
Terrell Pryor,
We even need
and he
Terrell
might be
Pryor.
the most talented quarterback.
quarterback on
Can't
the
we
Bills
just put
roster.
someone else in there and no quarterback?
Like, we don't need
We're
Terrell
We
running
did
a
that-
Wildcat.
We did run the Wildcat on Monday Night Football.
You think you moved Terrell Pryor back to quarterback
Are we out of time?
for the Bills?
Oh, man, the show went good today. Fast. All right. Everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye,
Riley.
Goodbye.
I'm Brock.
Chelsea.
I'm Kennedy.
Jonathan.
Mr. Dutt.
And Mr. Horton. GV Talk Sports.
Peace out.
Peace out.